Masturbation, a deeply personal yet universally experienced act, has been part of human life for millennia, though it remains a topic rarely discussed. Society's attitudes toward it have shifted over time, sometimes viewing it as natural and other times as taboo. This exploration looks at the evolution of these ideas and their relevance today, showing how even our private behaviors connect us to our historical roots. The first animal that ever masturbated. To understand the origins of masturbation, we travel back to the late Cretaceous period, around 75 million years ago, when the multituberculata, a group of small, rodent-like mammals, lived. These creatures are among the earliest eutherian mammals, the ancestors of modern placentals. It's believed that they might have been the first animals to engage in masturbation, a behavior that likely emerged accidentally during activities like grooming, leading to repeated behavior due to the pleasurable sensations it provided. From an evolutionary perspective, masturbation could have offered several benefits. It might have helped reduce stress, maintain reproductive health, or serve as a form of sexual exploration. The behavior could have spread within the population, either through genetic inheritance, if it provided a reproductive advantage, or through social learning, where other members of the group imitated the behavior. After identifying this creature and gaining a slight understanding of how they learned this behavior from each other, the question remains, how did this act spread to other species? Can masturbation be caught like the flu? The spread of masturbation to other species. Masturbation, once it first appeared in the multituberculata, did not remain isolated to that species. As mammals evolved and diversified, this behavior spread and adapted naturally through shared evolutionary mechanisms. Rather than needing to be directly transferred between species, masturbation emerged as a result of common traits inherited by many mammals, such as the nervous and hormonal systems that facilitate such behaviors. As these traits offered various benefits, they were preserved through natural selection. This behavior naturally continued in different evolutionary lines, adapting to the specific needs and contexts of each species. For our own ancestors, like Australopithecus and Homo erectus, these behaviors were passed down from their primate predecessors. As the human brain grew more complex, masturbation took on additional dimensions, serving not only physiological purposes, but also psychological and social ones, influencing self-identity and sexual autonomy. And over time, human societies developed diverse perceptions of masturbation, shaped by cultural and religious influences. Masturbation in ancient civilizations. Masturbation continued to evolve as civilizations developed, taking on new meanings shaped by each society's cultural and religious context. In ancient Sumer, for instance, masturbation was revered and seen as a divine act. The god Enki was believed to have created the Tigris and Euphrates rivers through masturbation, symbolizing fertility and life itself. In ancient Egypt, masturbation held similarly sacred significance. The creator god Atum was depicted as bringing forth the first gods through this act, linking it to the creation of life and the cosmos. In contrast, ancient Greece viewed masturbation as a more common aspect of daily life. Although philosophers like Diogenes promoted it as a practical way to address sexual desires, it was regarded within a framework of moderation, aligning with the Greek ideal of balanced sexuality. The Romans shared this pragmatic view, seeing masturbation as a natural but lesser activity compared to sexual relations. In their disciplined society, it was a private matter of little public importance. These varying perspectives across cultures highlight how masturbation was either revered or regarded with indifference, depending on the society's values. This contrast invites us to also consider the implications for societies that choose to condemn such a natural act. Masturbation and Christianity. As Christianity spread across the Roman Empire and medieval Europe, it brought about a profound shift in how sexuality, particularly masturbation, was perceived. Initially influenced by Jewish and Greek philosophical ideas that viewed excessive sexual indulgence as sinful, early Christian teachings began to regard masturbation, an act of sexual pleasure outside marriage, as a deviation from the divine purpose of procreation. By the 4th and 5th centuries, this perspective had become firmly rooted in Christian doctrine. Church fathers like St. Augustine condemned not just sexual acts outside of marriage, but even sexual thoughts and desires, viewing masturbation as a symbol of temptation and human weakness. During the Middle Ages, this condemnation intensified as the Church promoted the idea that the body was inherently sinful and that controlling sexual desires was essential for salvation. This led to a culture that valued moral control and submission, often at the cost of personal expression and sexual autonomy, creating an environment where people were trying to get a grip on their temptations. Restigmatization. The long-standing stigmatization of masturbation, heavily influenced by Christian teachings, began to shift in the 19th century with the advent of modern medicine and psychology. Although early medical opinions often still viewed masturbation as harmful, emerging scientific research started to challenge these beliefs, revealing that its negative effects were not as severe as previously thought. Despite this, negative attitudes persisted into the late 19th century, driven by a combination of religious and moral convictions. A significant turning point came in the early 20th century when figures like, I'm sure you guessed it, Sigmund Freud began to explore human sexuality from a psychological perspective. Freud recognized masturbation as a normal part of sexual development, paving the way for a more nuanced understanding. However, the topic remained largely taboo, and public acceptance was slow to follow. The most dramatic shift occurred during the 1960s sexual revolution. Research by Alfred Kinsey and other sexologists demonstrated that masturbation was a common and healthy practice, helping to dispel long-standing myths. This period marked the beginning of the widespread acceptance of masturbation as a natural aspect of sexual life. In the decades that followed, particularly from the 1980s and 1990s onwards, masturbation became more openly discussed in sexual education, with numerous studies highlighting its benefits, such as stress reduction and improved mental health. Today, in the 21st century, masturbation is widely accepted and recognized as a healthy component of human sexuality, though cultural and religious differences continue to influence its perception globally. What if the concept of masturbation disappeared tomorrow? If the concept of masturbation were to disappear tomorrow, it would have profound implications on both individual well-being and societal dynamics. The absence of masturbation could lead to increased psychological tension, potentially contributing to a rise in anxiety disorders and depression. It also plays a vital role in personal sexual exploration and self-connection. Without it, people might face greater sexual insecurity and difficulties in intimate relationships. The disappearance of masturbation would likely lead to significant challenges. On the positive side, the lack of masturbation might foster greater closeness between partners, encouraging them to explore new forms of intimacy together. This could reduce reliance on solitary pleasure and promote stronger social values and self-control. However, these benefits might come at the cost of increased difficulties in maintaining mental and emotional well-being. Conversely, individuals would need to find new ways to manage sexual tension and express their sexuality. Without this natural outlet, heightened stress and pressure on intimate relationships could arise, potentially leading to a disconnection from one's own sexuality. Moreover, the absence of masturbation might influence reproductive behaviors, as unmet sexual needs could drive individuals to engage in procreative acts more frequently or earlier. Ultimately, masturbation plays a significant role in maintaining mental, emotional, and physical health, and balance is key. Masturbation has changed the world by influencing cultural, religious, and psychological perspectives on sexuality, leading to shifts in societal norms, sexual education, and individual well-being. Proper sexual education is crucial to ensure that individuals understand and manage their sexual behaviors in a healthy way. By promoting open discussions and knowledge in this area, society can cultivate a more informed and respectful attitude towards the diverse aspects of human sexuality. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please share your thoughts in the comments. Let me know what other topics you'd like to see in future videos, and if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to give it a like and hit that subscribe button. Until next time.